Annabelle and Charlie are both on road trips. Not Annabelle. Annabeth's distance in miles from New York is t hours after 12 p.m. is modeled by the function d of t is equal to 60 times the absolute value of t minus 3. Charlie's distance in miles from New York t hours after 12 p.m. is modeled by this table. Who will travel the greater amount of time when their distance from New York stops decreasing and starts increasing? Okay, so basically, when will they reach zero, right? So f of t and d of t represent the distance in miles. And so if you notice, this is decreasing. To get from 270 to 180, I have to decrease. To get from 180 to 90, I have to decrease. So we're waiting until we get to zero, okay? We're looking for the x-intercept. And for Charlie, it's 6 hours. So now I've got to plug in this equation and figure out how long it's going to take Annabelle to reach y equals 0. Well, really, what we're looking for are the x-intercepts. So the quickest and easiest way, although I could solve it, but there's going to be two solutions because of the absolute value bracket. But let me turn on my calculator and we'll plug it in and see. So what I need to do is I need to graph this bad boy. And I'm going to say 60 times the absolute value number times the absolute value of t, but I'm just going to put x because that's what the calculator knows, minus 3. And then if I go to table of values, I've got my stuff right here. So I'm just going to scroll down. It looks like Annabeth is going to reach there. She's going to reach 0 at 3 hours. Okay. So let me just copy and paste this real quick so we can compare the two. So these are her numbers. And so the same situation here. Oops, let me write this down. So this is from d of t is equal to 60 absolute value of t minus 3. Annabeth reaches 0 in 3 hours. Charlie reaches 0 in 6. Charlie, who will have traveled the greater amount? Charlie traveled the greater amount. So I'm saying to reach 0, but in the context of the question is saying how long will it be before they're increasing, right? So I think that's important. It says the question that they're asking is who will have traveled the greater amount of time. Well, it's not the greater distance, it's the greater amount of time. See? You gotta pay attention. That's why it's important to always reread the question. I think they traveled the same distance. I think one person went slower than the other. Um, so who traveled the greater amount of time when their distance from New York stops decreasing and starts increasing? So it's like they're driving into New York and then they turn around and leave, right? So their distance from New York starts to increase. Well, to get from here to here, I have to increase. To get from here to here, I have to increase. Same thing here. To go from 0 to 60, right? So they're going 60 miles an hour, if you think about it, because every hour they've traveled another 60 miles. Here, they're going 90 miles an hour. So Charlie, uh, well, wait, let me think. But maybe he was further away. So look at this though. So he's going 90 miles an hour and it's taking him, well, no, they're counting by twos here. Okay. It's not quite the same. He's not going 90 miles an hour. He's going 45 miles an hour, right? Because here they're counting by twos, right? So it takes 2 hours to go 90 miles. Here it takes one hour to go 60 miles. So because Charlie's only going 45 miles per hour and he's further away, at zero, he's 270 miles away. At zero, Annabeth is 180 miles away. So the answer to the question is Charlie traveled the greater time because he was going slower and he was further away. Whew, that's a lot of information there.